Hello, Self, Cosmos, Ohana, Soul, Dr. Nick here. It is Thursday, December 4th, 2025, and this is Magic Mirror Work. I'm here standing on a new place on the rocks of the beach in Kona Island between Hilo and Pahoa in Kiau. I don't know how to pronounce it yet. Um, got here just after sunrise around 7:40, 6:40, 6:45, because I had a call with my dear business partner, founding partner Matt, and yeah, grateful for that. Really grateful for that. Um, we'll see if we can even have the call later next week. Actually, that might actually serve me even more if I can have it later, because then I could actually come out for sunrise and then go back. I'll see if I can do that. Um, boop 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 boop. So, getting ready for quarter one of next year, getting ready for the next year, launching a funnel in quarter one of next year, launching a ad campaign, launching something with a clear message, recognizing the broad scope of the work I do, but getting clarity on the message that I want to have out there specifically for this work, specifically for gathering, drawing, connecting people who are ready for it. The experiential process of the breath, the process of the breath that awakens the own inner knowing, the own intuition, that has a broad-based appeal, that has a lot of space for beginners, that has a lot of space for skeptics, and then in that space stepping into whether they want to come to a regular subscription or whether they find something more local or whether this isn't the modality for them at this time, all of which are perfectly acceptable answers. But how to make it such a clear message? I'm not trying to do just what everyone else is doing. I'm actually doing what I want to do while also recognizing the games that I play, we play to connect and reconnect. One of the ones that I've had is the radical selfishness, shifting from doing everything for everyone else, patterning from trying to be who I think my parents want to be, my partner wants me to be, my kids want me to be, my brothers, sisters, my friends want me to be, to who do I want to be? Who am I? Who am I? And it comes back to radical selfishness. And I say that's not self-care, it's not self-awareness, it's selfishness at first. And being able to be selfish means being childish again, being childish in order to be childlike, being willing to quit, to fail, to discuss, to delight at things. And all the different aspects of radical selfishness is likely where we're going to come at this from, is one way. Because the book I just read and listened to from Anthony DeMello is Awareness. Awareness of awareness, 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 awareness. And awareness is lovely as a meta idea, but I didn't get to this point where I could listen to awareness. It initially would have come from places that I'd started with, whether it's The Alchemist, whether it's Tony Robbins, whether it's Brene Brown, Shame and Guilt, whether it's the access points of curiosity. Oh, what are these medicines that are coming up, the psychedelics and everything else like that? How do I access some of these states with just my breath? Being so radically selfish that I could access different states. And what is it that I often tell people? I'm here to help expand consciousness. I'm here to help people become radically selfish. And when you're radically selfish, you can hear or listen to your body and actually shift and heal disease. And that's another aspect. My story of healing from my asthma, from my depression, from my ADHD, from my loneliness, from going from a place where I was sick at 30 to healthier than I've ever been at 45 to having a family. And so how does that story resonate as well? That may be more the story side of things, right? And the messaging can be multiple different layers. It could be looking at the story of my life. It could be looking at the message I think I'm trying to send now. It could be looking at the bigger message, awareness, awareness, awareness. It could be looking at the bespoke side of things. What things have we actually transmuted? Well, we've transmuted cancer. We've transmuted insomnia. We've transmuted relationships, infertility, jobs. And this isn't a guarantee. So people who are coming up and showing up for the guarantee will be maybe sorely disappointed. It may actually be the worst thing to get exactly what you want right away. Because what you want and what you really want may be two entirely different things. Getting the life you want, getting what you want, getting what you dream, winning the lottery. From disease to health, from dis-ease to health. And it's getting clear which messages want to be there. And it's not just the generic, it's not just the theoretical. And that's it too, is how do you shift from theoretical to actuality? I think that's a piece as well that people, I know I am and was looking for. I'm not looking for the theoretical. And that's part of it. Even Leonard Orr, thinking about that, it's like, oh, he went from trying to learn immortality from people who've never even lived 100 years, just theorizing about it, to learning immortality from people who've lived at least 300 years. So what life have I already lived, am living, that I want to share? And that's a key. Okay, that's a key. So I don't want to give a theory of a life. I want to give the life that I'm actually living. And radical selfishness is one of those things. Radical selfishness means that you can recalibrate the money that is being spent. You can recalibrate the looking of things. You can recalibrate looking at life as trust as the currency. I've got so many people in my corner. You can recalibrate the receiving. So the living of life and the practicing of life, receiving, and not just receiving in terms of money, but receiving therapies, receiving gifts, receiving. It doesn't mean you can't have sustainable fair exchange. It doesn't always have to be free. That whole idea of free, it's never free. Even this gift isn't a gift in a sense. I'm getting something out of it. But that's more of an advanced theory. So what are the theories to bring people in? And reminding myself that, oh, that's cool. There's a rock out there that's actually visible. And I wonder if this is low-ish tide versus higher tide. Can't tell for sure. Can't tell for sure. There are clouds out there too, so we'll see if I actually get to be shirtless today. Radical selfishness. Radical remembering of listening to the messages. Listening to the voices, the knowingness, the clairvoyance, the clairsentience, the clairaudience, the clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance. And then over the last 24 hours, having heard from a dear friend of loss, there was a loss, and just being with that, having been to the beach for over 3 hours, I think we were there probably, and possibly even getting a little bit of a sunburn. Today, maybe going to a black sands beach, and we'll see how that goes. Being able to go to the beaches that are closer by, knowing that they're not the ideal beaches for kids, but being with that, being with all the different rents that are going on. There's so many rents that are going on, and how to live with that, how to be open to other people staying in our home when we're not there. How to create a home where we're okay with other people staying in our home while we're not there, having a bed for them, having a multi-room home, being able to rent it out, being able to have one room where we don't rent out maybe. And that's probably the biggest thing. That's probably one of the big things. I forgot to bring any water. Coughing a little bit. I'll see if I have my cough drop or if I ate it the other day. If I have it still, I'm definitely going to have it now. Oh, I do. Sweet. Sweet. Manuka honey, here I come. Ah. Starting off this way, watching a fisherman work, watching people watching the sunrise, having been here late, going, oh my God, I missed it. And then realizing, okay, I'm a little bit late. So what? There's still early morning sun. This is more of the yellow side of the spectrum, and it's definitely not in the deep, full UV exposure right now because it doesn't feel as hot. Being with going to bed early, disappointing another in order to listen to my own body. Waking up from dreams where people were dying. There was this assassin, which was a cloaked, almost wall of faces of beings that had to push together that were like 15 feet wide that would go and just eviscerate their targets. And there was such a war, not just within each of them, but with each other, and then being stuck together, that there was such a war that created such an evisceration. And recognizing that this day, the war inside myself is a reflection of the war outside myself. The inner is a reflection of the outer. And how do I shift the inner? And the outer will shift. And I don't need it to reflect, or I don't need it to be proof of the inner. It's just being able to witness the outer from a place of peace, because of inner peace. So many people say, I want peace, but do they really want it? There's the outrage piece that wants to be there sometimes. There's the victim piece. There's the blaming piece. There's the abdication. There's the excuse piece, and even that for myself. What am I not being with? What am I not willing to be with? And writing things down and getting clearer, and doing my own review of my own life, my review of my business, my review of my personhood, and seeing what's possible there, and getting clearer and clearer and clearer. Being with all of this madness, and practicing typing it out, practicing dumping it out, and then practicing distilling it. What is the distillation of me? And knowing that it can't be distilled. Part of it in creating all this magic mirror work, all this fucking content, is that I'm creating content for me, by me, through me, as me. I'm going to be tapping the AI for this. I'm going to be tapping it to remind me of me. But being really clear as I start creating this feedback loop that it isn't me. And that's a piece of reading Simone, is like having the clear sense of the people around me where I'm actually able to be transparent with, to noodle around with thoughts and ideas with that I am both teaching but not always teaching, because as I'm saying things, I'm hearing myself. I'm hearing and noticing when I'm like, I won't even give them something to hang on to. I'm trying to give them advanced concepts that I'm noodling with, rather than meeting them where they're at. And when I say advanced, it's advanced because I've built upon so many concepts to get here. Concepts being static, reality being always in flow, and then also being aware that someone doesn't have to go through all my leaps and hoops in order to reach this state. And a part of actually creating a state that you can maintain is what are the regular practices that I choose, that I return to, not as an addiction, but I return to as like, oh my God, it's a remembrance. It's a remembrance. And then being able to help someone see, hey, you have all the tools. You have so many tools. What are you not returning to now that you have an excuse not to return to it? Part of it usually is having a child now. And then listening to the whole idea of Summerhill, that school in the UK where they took the troubled youth and they said it takes up to 6 months to help a child remember themselves, to help them remember the God that's within, because we're no longer trying to program who we think they're supposed to be and create a devil. Rather, we're trying to help them remember that they've always got a team, people on the side, they've always got support to rediscover who they are, their own gifts, their own desire for learning. And in that desire for learning, they can create something that is unique rather than something that's just a pre-programmed package. And in this world, as much as we're trying to pretend we're not trying to create pre-programmed packages, we are. How do we get everyone to share, be gentle, be kind? How do we help them have ethics, have etiquette? How do we help them navigate, follow the rules? And in a way, it's easier because if everyone else follows a specific set of rules, then my life is easier. But I also don't want that because it's boring, it's predictable. I don't actually want a life where it's boring and predictable, because someone I love had a lucid dream going back in time 2 months, and knowing what's going to happen and knowing what's going to happen sucks. But there's a part of us that desires that, because right now there feels like such unknown, until we realize that everything is known because it is a remembrance. And part of the realization of that is when they're looking at the Torah and being able to use it to decipher codes which have predicted the future and the past. And then we recognize that prophecies, predictions of the future, don't always have to come true exactly the way our minds think they're supposed to come true, because they're open to interpretation. And I love the idea of reading about this idea of fire, this analogy, someone who's showing fire to a tribe and then leaving before needing to get recognition because they're recognizing the uses, then going to another tribe, and then the priests are really upset and they kill the man, but they put the image of him because they don't want to be a martyr, and how that relates to the church and Jesus Christ. And it's like praying to the image of who he was rather than actually living the life that he was trying to teach, which is love, which is, turn the other cheek, which is acceptance of reality. in that case takes away the power of the priesthood. And that's part of my work, is both being so powerful but taking away the power of the priesthood. And I can only do that by truly living the life that I see. Living the life that I see. Trying to see if I'm actually going to expose more skin right now, if I'm just going to accept the grounding and stay cold, stay comfortable with the warmth, because the sun is behind the clouds somewhat. And right now, being able to see my own traps and recognize that I can't see all of my traps. That's not the goal. Part of it, and I recognize this, is how do I have a founding partner that helps me see my traps? And it's so important, because I'm good at some things, but I'm really terrible at others. And how do I actually create this business? It would have been easier to buy a business and add value to it, but I'm creating this because I actually want to create this life. And actually, it wouldn't be easier. I've tried it. I've tried to be part of other people's businesses, but they have other thoughts, they have other dreams, they have other messages. And we're all going to a similar place, but not the same place. How do I be that person that both desires the old patternings, craves the acknowledgement of others, without truly depending on the acknowledgement of others? And over I'll be practicing that. But that's my job to practice. I don't need them to be aware of it. And over again, Matt's reminding me, what is best for the client? What is best for the end user? What is best for the person coming to this? Not what am I trying to do for the other practitioners and things. What is best for the person coming to this? What's best for the person coming to this is being able to access options in breath, coming out of this breath, and having this be so accessible that they can access it from anywhere, and having them notice how valuable it is that they actually take the time. So notice how valuable it is that they actually take the time, put in the effort, put in the intention, put in the dedication to commit that 2 hours to that first breath. That is an actual gift. Someone's willing to commit 2 hours. I honor that gift. I will respect that gift. I welcome that gift and know that I will honor and respect it and come to it. And how do I support people to do that? Okay, what are they going to get out of this? Radical selfishness. They're going to get much more clear on experiential processes that serve their own inner voice and knowing, their ability to receive, and what next. Whether they come join the breath and pay for it or anything else like that, whether they come do it for free, whether they come do it at all, the biggest reminder is that they have possibility. They have possibility. They can come to it. And we're going to start actually listing practitioners, allies, affiliates. It will serve multiple ways. One, it will strengthen our network of breath practitioners, facilitators. It will give local options. It'll give in-person options. And it will grow the network of people we can breathe with, for, by, through. And if I can be the gift of the online breath and coming to people at certain times, but not having to be the one trying to serve all. And get really clear, what is next year, what does success look like? I think a big part of it is having a foundational aspect of the breath. If we can have it so that at least 100 people have signed up at $30 a month, that's $3,000 a month. 500 people, $30 a month, that's $15,000 a month. That would be amazing. That would be an amazing foundation for the work that we do, and then things would really take off exponentially from there. It would allow for more space, more play, more creativity. It would allow for a platform that doesn't dilute itself. At most, maybe about 4 breaths a month is the base with some extras. I don't know. I don't know. Let's not get ourselves ahead of ourselves to what success might be possible. Probably a part of it will be raising rates, that there'll be a base product. That's it. At most, there'll be a base product. Any of the extras will be extras. We want to have a base product. Then we can test out the next product. Got it. And we know the base product has hit full success when we hit 500 people. We know that we've gotten to where we want to in terms of getting the messaging when we hit 100 people. Oh, there is a being, there is a seal, there's something in the water there. And I don't know what that was, but I will keep an eye out for it. So I won't be looking at the screen. I'll be looking for this being that just showed up on my radar. And recognizing that it's okay if I don't see it again. But it definitely looked like a shape of either a seal, even a penguin, but it shouldn't be a penguin here. I'm hoping it's not something more sinister. My eyes could be deceiving me as well. Radical selfishness, held safely. What is safety? What is safety? And what is safety? Acceptance. What if someone was always on your side? That's another message that's there. I'm recognizing I had the gift of that. I've always had someone on my side. And how to create some of these things, I don't know. How to create more of a tribe, a community out of Ohana, I don't know. And I'm not going to try to grow that yet. I was trying to do too many things rather than grow the base of this. It was just fucking delivering the breath amazingly. Having a clear message, getting people there, growing it enough so that it's actually sustainable, growing it enough so there's actually a scaffolding, a foundation. And then from there, we can see what's next. Trying to create what's next all the time prevents what is. And that's part of what I've been trying to do. So let's get this current is working the fuck out of working. And over and over getting clearer and clearer on the message. 7 words, right? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? What is the 7 words that will really connect, bring self and people and others in? There's some rocks there, but that's not it either. I don't think it was rocks underneath there that I was seeing, but it could be. So interesting that I don't see this again. And I'm upset at myself a little bit. I'm upset that I had not gotten clearer on this sooner. I'm upset that I am so slow. I'm upset that I am confused still. Like there's a part of me that's like, all right, brain, let's just work. And then I'm recognizing how hard I've made it be to be clear. Some of the things that I've done that other people consider hard. Oh my God, you went through med school. Oh my God, you went through suicidality. Oh my God, you went through this. Oh my God, you went through so many journeys. Cool. What's really hard is coming up with 7 words that really resonate. That's a simple message. It's repeatable. That's a distillation. And in this distillation, I'm realizing, who do I actually want to be? How do I want to show up? How do I want to fool myself? Stop fooling myself. Fool myself. Stop fooling myself. Because I don't want to just have a life where I feel trapped. I don't want to be trapped. What is the prison? That's part of it too, that I've really, when I start off with this, it was a black and white world. What if you could see the rainbows? It was a black and white world, and now I see the rainbows. I really do see rainbows. I did create the devil inside of me, who was willing to almost kill myself in order to punish my parents. And now I really see the God in myself, really being there. And I think I'm noticing either crabs walking in the distance or something else. There's always this little sensation of looking to my right because there's some movement that my eyes catch. And it's recognizing the flow of life. Frick. Keep coming back to this is a video for me, by me, through me, as me. About 25 minutes long now. And I'm diving in. I'm really needling myself in order to see what's there. I've got my daylight computer here, which is better for my eyes, better for my brain, better to slow down. I've got this phone and this microphone, so hopefully the waves aren't overwhelming the audio. I picked up the iPhone 17 Pro Max because I wanted the very best camera that I could find that I could use easily all the time. And I look forward to the next camera that I'm going to have for either underwater picture photography, for whatever it's going to be. Whatever it's going to be. And I didn't think of getting a case earlier than this, which is a shame, but it is just the way it is. Ah, so much discomfort right now. And very little discomfort, actually, when I was thinking I was going to be in a lot of discomfort, but part of this is probably the clarity of this is the stuff to actually noodle, to process, to be with. In the business, what is it that we want to do? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? What is the messaging? And as I get clear on this messaging of the breath, it'll get clearer on the messaging of the bespoke work. First, I have a couple people that I want to work with. It's going to be partially gift, but partially deep work that is not a gift. It's got to be someone who's willing to be with, see the price tag for it. And people may or may not see it, and that's okay. It's over and over getting really clear on who do I want to be, how do I want to show up, how do I want to show up for myself especially. Because it's not about how other people see that I show up for them. It's how do I want to show up for myself? How do I want to show up for myself? 9 words. How do I want to show up for myself? Who am I for me? Who am I for me? Over and over, we're going to keep playing with things, not trying to get it right, but the right thing will stumble out. The sun's really coming out now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can step into this in a moment. I'm going to step into the sun now. Ciao for now.